aboard, everybody. My name is Doobyis. This is Flying Formation. Tonight, I've got a return guest. The homie Sayzee from Niagara Falls is back on Flying Formation. Welcome, dude. Welcome. I appreciate you coming through today. It was short notice, you know.
Yeah, it's all good. You can hear me okay from here, or do I need to lean in?
Yeah, I can turn your audio up a little bit if you want to stay relaxed or whatever there.
Yeah, I'll turn my mic up a bit. See if headphones help. Hold
on. But yeah, man, you've been busy lately, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're always busy, album after album after album. So when's Two-Way Mirror come out? You sent that over to me. I was listening through it. If people are in chat, they were hearing a couple tracks from it there before we started talking here.
Smooth.
I'll chop that off though. We won't leave that on the stream. Nobody who will just hear this down the line will hear
that's
that.
Okay.
That's only for
good.
the people who came through on Twitch right now.
That's cool with me. Yeah, so April. We don't have like a tentative date yet, but definitely April at some point. We just got to get a video ready, and then it's go time. So somewhere between then, yeah, man, it's gonna be April.
Nice.
April.
So you and Bandolero, how long you guys known each other? That's King Bandolero, right? Did he take the crown off? Is it now just officially Bandolero, or
no? I just be shortening shit because you know what I mean. Whatever, like just getting to the point. But yeah, it's still KNG Bandolero. Part of No Face crew. Me and him been cool for not too long, like about maybe a year and a little bit. We started talking on Instagram a bit, and then we connected at Bishop's concert last June in the summertime.
Yeah, man. You know,
rest in peace, Bishop. Yeah.
I wanted to start up just saying, you know, we lost a real one. Hip hop in general lost big time over the weekend there. You know, rest in peace, Bishop. He did a lot, man. But it sounds like you actually knew the guy. I mean, it's one thing to be an outsider who appreciated, you know, his battle raps and his music over the years and his contribution to the culture. Just from watching from the sidelines myself, you know, but it sounds like you actually knew him. And in your post, you mentioned like being part of rival crews back in the day or something like that. Can you, do you feel like going into any of that?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's cool. So Bishop was a part of this group called Wise Guys. It was like, let me see if I can get it. JD Era, Bishop Brigante, Young Tony, Drake,
like
Ken Masters. Drake. Yeah, Drake. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Right.
Yeah. Ken Masters. And that was pretty much like their group. And then we had like Aristo, Littles, Bishop, Choice, Caesar Leone, Cali Snipes, and myself on Team Offense. That was like, there was a few other extra guys too, like that were like affiliates and stuff like that. But anyway, we were two rap groups and we had issues because Drake and Aristo had issues. So then it kind of trickled into the crew, like, because we were rap crews at the time, right? So
when you got that many guys on two teams running around the same scenes, there's always going to be some sort of fucking
and it became pure competition. It became pure competition, right? Like who was better, you know? It was very like rap oriented. Like we're better than you. They thought they were better than us, so it was just like that type of thing.
Right. Yeah. And yeah. So it sounds like you got to know Bishop a little bit better than that over the years, though. Hey, like
we became super tight. After that. And then we were like tight ever since. You know what I mean? Good friends. And it's super fucked up what happened to him, man. Like. Yeah, man. Like if anyone didn't deserve that, if anyone didn't deserve that, it was him, man. That guy was like special, dude. He was a special dude, man.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, I'd only had few brief interactions with the guy, but even, you know, it was as he was battling cancer and he was still just being nice to random radio DJ guy on Instagram or whatever.
He was still on Twitter talking shit about boxing and doing like he was on his deathbed still talking shit. So it was like
Yeah, man. The guy lived it, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's official.
Yeah, man. I want to start off with that, but then how do you transition from that?
No, it's okay. You know what?
Where do we go from there?
Yeah, he would want us to keep going and keep talking the good stuff about the music. So it's all good. Don't even sweat it, man. Rest in peace, Bishop Brigante, super legend, great father, great entrepreneur, businessman, great battle rapper, family man, great husband, great friend. You know what I mean? So salute that fella, man. He's a legend for real. And you can see the outpour of support.
It's been incredible, man. All the posts, everybody, you know, telling stories and just looking back at the times they had with him. Yeah. And just his contribution in general, right? Like, just he'll be missed for
Unfathomable,
sure. He'll
man.
be missed and
Yeah,
he'll be remembered for sure.
100%,
Um,
100%.
yeah, man. So this new album though, man, the Two Way Mirror album. Why did you guys call it Two Way Mirror? Is one of you on each side of the mirror? Is that you each did 6 tracks produced,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
And oh, okay,
basically, it was like, yeah, it was like a mirror match for me and him. Like he was bringing his production, and he was bringing his raps, and I was bringing my production, and I was bringing my raps, and we kind of just layered the album like that. So it's like track for track, production wise. And we got some good features on there. AO Biggs is on there twice. New Villains on there. Tone is on there. So some good Canadian rapping's on there. You know what I mean?
yes, sir. So the intro for it, there's a quote. It sounds like you guys snatched up some news quote or something about like so much violence happening in Toronto, and I think it's about how like even the police chief says that even the gang leaders are in agreement that there's too much violence or something along
It's too
these
much
lines.
fuckery going on, man. Yeah, that's true. You know, we were thinking of it more in like a rap aspect. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
there's too much violence because it's like, yo, it's really gonna be a serious thing if you don't have the skills to pay the bills. You're gonna have to sit down soon because it's coming back to being a skills based game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. That's for sure. I'm seeing that day by day. It seems like more and more people with skills are starting to rise to the top.
I'm telling you,
Um,
if you go back to our interview, we had an interview April 10th last year. Me and you
okay.
spoke,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and on April 10th, I think we were talking about how the game is swinging back to being an independent game. How people are going to be jumping off labels soon
Right. Well,
and
because
going
that was
back
like
to the
right with the whole Drake Kendrick thing. That was like right
exactly.
in that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. I mean, a year out from that, I think we're definitely seeing the trend has been set. And um, I don't know. I think maybe hip hop's kind of doing what like all the other genres have done, where like, pop punk knows what's punk and what's pop punk. And there's
Right.
no like nobody's having an argument about like whether these pop punk bands were real punk rock or not. It was just obviously
Exactly.
not that thing, right?
Exactly.
And I
And they were never in competition. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like real punk group would never be in competition with a group like Nickelback. And
yeah,
there's various genres of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. So I think
yeah.
that's what we're seeing now. Just kind of more people coming to that realization that like, oh, okay, that mainstream stuff. It's something, it's good for what it is or whatever, but it's not necessarily what everybody's feeling in the culture or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of
can't be. It can't be.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it can't. There's
nothing
so
can
many
be.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. There's so much variations of people that it's always going to be possible to have a fan base doing some kind of music.
yeah, for real, man.
Yeah.
Um, I think the other thing that helps people see that is like as we age, right? You got a track on this new one called Over 30 or whatever. You and Tona are trading bars on that one, and I think the hook is like that you don't trust anybody who's not over 30 at
I
this
don't
point.
trust anyone under 30 at this point. If you were born like, you know, over 30 years ago, I can't really like I like not even that I don't trust you, but I can't really see eye to eye with someone who's under 30 at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just at a different level of wisdom from my
Man, the
years
world
beyond.
started changing so fast once everybody got cell phones in their pockets, and like
Yeah,
in just somebody who's in their 30s lifetime, in a millennial's lifetime or whatever, we've seen a fuck
a
ton of
lot,
change, man. Like,
a lot.
I know how to read a paper map or whatever to get where I need to go, right? Like, I know how to fucking use a grid system and find an address, Whereas like
Which is a yeah, these kids, you take away GPS, they're done, bro. They're not
GPS
getting
can't find
nowhere.
their way down the street, right? So
Can't
yeah,
get not going nowhere.
yeah. I mean, that's real, man. But I think a lot of artists make their best music kind of as they get some life experience under the belt. And well, and just the skills, right? It takes a long time to put in 10,000 hours and get to a place where you can do the thing consistently well at a consistently high level, right?
And
Um,
like as an artist, it takes a long time to really build the sound that you're going for, because at the start you're gonna have a sound that you want in your head. It's probably gonna be particular, like something like your favorite artist, or you know, something along the lines of something you listen to a lot. You know what I mean? You're gonna build off that. But
yeah,
it takes time to like really refine and design your personal rap style. And I feel like that part of the art form is really lost nowadays. Like people aren't taking no time no more. Like they just rap like whoever's, you know, they look up to, and
sound
then
like
call it
whoever's in the mainstream
and
or
then they'll
whatever.
develop their
Do
style
that.
eventually. But these kids are blowing up off this shit. So if I was young, I'd be taking that route too, because I understand where they're coming from. Like I was young at one point. You know what
Can
I'm
you
saying?
honestly say that,
Counterculture.
yeah, when you were 19, I mean, I sounded like whoever I was listening to when I was 19 too, right? I
Yeah,
probably sounded a lot more like Eminem when I was rapping when I was 19
yeah. I used to
than
rap
I
like
do now or
fucking
whatever, right? Like,
Dipset and Joel Santana, and like when I was learning how to rap. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was listening to. So like,
well, so I
you're
guess
always
that's the natural progression. You start someplace and it's kind of copying your idols or whatever to some
yeah, but
degree, and then the
you
style
know, if you get
develops.
10 years down if you get 10 years down the road and stick to it in that decade, you're gonna redesign that shit into your own personal. It's like martial arts, right? You might study a martial art and then study another martial art, and that's where other shit gets born, because there's shit in between, you know what I mean, that links up. So it's
Yeah,
the same
man.
idea.
Yeah. Dude, there's a track on there called Guar. I didn't get to it, but I had to like search and make sure that like Guar is that fucking death metal band that
Yeah,
sprays blood all over their audience or whatever.
absolutely,
You guys
absolutely.
big Guar fans, or what's that
Yeah,
track about?
I fuck with Guar. I named that song. I don't know why I called it Guar. Oh, because it was the whole idea, because Bandolero's part of No Face Crew. They don't show their face. You know what I mean? Like they're
Right.
masked at all times. So
That's like
mask on, because
New
Guar
Villain too,
always,
right? New
yeah, yeah.
Villain's No Face. Yeah.
New
Okay.
Villain's part of that too. Yeah. And Guar always wore like masks and like crazy, retarded, like monster shit. And so it was just masks on. We look like Guar kind of shit.
Okay. So, but
Mm.
nobody's gonna get sprayed by blood if they come
I
out to
hope
one of your
so.
guys'
You
shows.
never know. You never know. Shit might get crazy. You
Bring
never
out the
know.
blood packs for that one, man. Dude, I also caught a line there on Angelica. You say something about a man with male pattern baldness would have a better chance to grow hair than you do to blow up. I was like, I mean, maybe, I guess. Like, I hear
I
this
was
is
just trying.
wonders for Elon Musk or whatever. Like,
Yeah, man. I was just trying to say like something like, I don't know, when I rap, like sometimes I'll say some like, it's nothing like really complex about saying that. It's just the way
yeah,
I
yeah.
said it. It's just the way I said it was a little different, probably, right?
It made me laugh, man. I
That's
mean,
good.
it's reality raps though too, right? I think one thing that gets to me, man, is like listening to all this indie rap that I do. There's a lot of guys who just like they can't be humble to even that level, right? To even like make a joke like that, you
Yeah.
got to, right? Like you got to be able to fucking
I don't take
accept
myself that
reality,
serious. I
right?
don't take
Like,
myself that serious, you know? And like my goal isn't to be, I know at my age, you know what I mean? I'm an aged middle-aged man by now. So at my age, I know that I'm gonna be making music for people a little bit younger than me and a little bit older than me. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And it's like if I can stay in that heat zone, I'm not really worried about blowing up, or because like if you can have 500 fans and they spend
Yeah,
$500 a year, you can make a living off this shit. You know what
you can
I'm
have a
saying?
career,
So
especially if you're
yeah,
a guy like you who puts out fucking an album every month or whatever,
try
man.
to do
Like
one a month this year. Yeah,
this year, you're doing one a month. That's
I'm
the
trying.
game plan.
That's the plan. I already missed. Well, I already messed it up because I didn't put an album out in January,
Okay,
and then I
dude.
didn't put an album out in March either. But I did that feature with Tona, which was a good one.
Okay, right. Yeah, the wave
Yeah,
grease. Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
then I
yeah.
did
That's
the
a dope track, man.
Cardinal video with Cardi or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, one way or the other, you're maintaining presence, right?
Mm-hmm,
You're out
mm-hmm.
there, whether it's your own music or somebody else's. Um, so like, I was thinking today about just the rate you put albums out at.
Yeah,
So if you did 6 albums last year, I think that was the number we were talking about last April, right? It was
it
like
was 6. Yeah.
6, yeah. So, or maybe that was the year before I talked to you, I guess, but probably another 6 last year since I talked to you.
Yeah, I think it
I
was
don't
like 4 the
actually
year
know, but
before. It might have been 4 the year before, but I know last year I did 6 for sure.
okay. Well, then just
Six
to
albums.
use
Yeah.
6 as the number, I mean, and then there's 10 tracks per say. I don't actually know. There's probably some that had more and maybe a couple that had less, but like
Yeah, yeah, give or take. Yeah, 10 is a
give or
good
take.
guess.
So,
Yeah.
so 60-ish tracks, you could just do one a week, right? Like, um, is does it feel like albums are still necessary? Like to
Like
package them together like that in
to,
groups?
to me, I know that I've dropped singles that have gotten more streams on the single than I have on a whole album.
Right.
So I know it's not necessarily the move to be dropping albums the way I do, But the reason that I do it is because I can fucking do it.
Right.
I can do it. I don't have that creative block ever. I freestyle all my shit, so there's no preparation. All I need is a beat and to sit down, and I'll come up with a song.
Yeah,
So there's nothing really stopping me from not doing an album a month.
for sure, man. And I guess that I guess you could still lump them into albums, but still do weekly releases, even or whatever, right? Because like it would
I
just be
find weekly
dropping
release.
singles and do that waterfall release shit or whatever, right? Like
We
where
did
they
like
add to the
back in
same
the
album.
day. Yeah. Back in the day, we did 22 videos in a row. So 22 weeks, we had 22 videos. This was like, I don't even know, 2012 maybe.
Okay.
Long time ago. You know what I mean? I was a
When
young
somebody
man.
had to have a real camera and shit.
Yeah, like I had
Uh,
shout out my man G Dot. Like we went guerrilla mode, and like we would just go to all these cities, or if I had a show, he would come with me, and we would just shoot videos on road and everywhere else. And that really worked in building my fan base because the consistency. So when I saw that, okay, I might not have the budget of a major label, but I can outwork these major label artists.
yeah.
So I figure if I don't have the budget, 100 grand to put behind a song, then I'm gonna have to impress people with quality and consistency.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
why
that's the
that's
only
the
way to
idea
do it,
behind
man.
it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Stand on the pedal because you can't compete with the marketing plans that the big names have, right?
So
That
I gotta I
would,
gotta win. But the thing about that is when I do win a fan over, I'm getting a real fan. I'm getting someone who's gonna go to my Bandcamp and maybe spend that $10 on the release. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting a fan that just likes one song of mine and then they're out.
yeah.
So it works for me. It's less in and out, but there's more people staying. You know what I'm saying? So
How do you try to make one specific album feel special when you're dropping so many albums? Put
I
any
work
thought to
like,
that? Like,
yeah. I work in pockets. Like I was doing 4 albums at once, like around December.
okay,
So I was working on 4 projects at one time. And I would do it like just off mood. So like if I sat down and I was like, yo, I'm in this kind of vibe, I would work on a Fin joint. If I was
okay,
in another kind of vibe, I would work on a Lupara joint. If I was in another kind of vibe, I would work on this Bondo, or I would make beats because I started making beats last year.
yeah,
And I'm going heavy with the production stuff. So
yeah. I
I'm
think you'd
always
only
just
made
kind
one or
of,
two last time I talked to you with the
yeah.
production.
That makes sense. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
super light, like just starting. But now I've done I just produced the album for the Rhyme Animal,
right.
TRA.
You did one for
And
AO Biggs as well, right?
no, I didn't do one for AO Biggs. I did one for my man Ezza.
Oh,
So you
okay.
know Ezza Chum Gang.
Yeah, I
I
talked to
produced the album.
Ezra
Yeah,
coming soon sometime. I think on the 15th or something coming up
good,
this
good,
month. Yeah, yeah,
good. Make them work. Make them work. Yeah, I did an album with him. We haven't even like discussed like we haven't like put it out or did any promo. He's got another album coming out first, but we got one on Tuck that I produced all the beats on that. And then I did the beats on this project, beats on Y4WN, side A and B. So I've been busy with the beats. Like I got busy quick.
nice, man. Are people on your doorstep knocking, looking for more beats? Like,
No, not
is it
really.
easy to
Not
move them?
really. No,
Okay,
not really. Like I've been really like just pushing towards working with artists that I think are dope, like that I would want to rap with. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? And I just been giving beats out to like people that I actually want to work with and shit. So
Right.
trying to build it up first.
Makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the album before? Well, it might be your newest one that's actually out right now because we were talking about an album that isn't out yet. But
Yeah.
can we talk about Stained Glass with
Glass, Molly
what is it?
Abstract.
Mali Abstract? Molly
Yeah.
Abstract? How do I say that?
Molly, yeah. Molly
Molly. Okay.
Abstract.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
From
who's
Atlanta.
that? Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's a producer. He's dope.
have you ever actually like met the dude, or was it a online link up, or
It was an
how did that
online
come
link
together?
up.
Okay,
Online
nice,
link
man.
up. Yeah.
Nice.
We started cooking. He was on a few of my projects. I think he was on like Y for WN9. We did a few joints on there. And then we kind of
Yeah,
just
I
had like,
recognized the name, but I couldn't figure from where. So that's probably from where I'd
yeah, that
see,
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. He
his
was on
name
there
on
a
your
few
stuff.
times. And then we just started building and like we had a bunch of Lucy's. So we were just like, yo, let's put out a little EP, right? Like with our Lucy's. So we just threw them together and kind of that was more of like songs that were already done, shit that was like a year or two old, like stuff that we kind of just had sitting around. So we kind of
Okay,
just threw it out there just to have something going at the start of the year, you know what I mean?
nice, man. Yeah, I mean it was definitely EP vibes or whatever. I saw one dude give you some. He did a 1 minute review or whatever on the fucking
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
wasn't hate necessarily or whatever, but he was just like, meh, kind of or whatever. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. He was like, whatever. But it's true. You know what? To be honest, we kind of just threw it together. Like it wasn't something we sat down and built. It was kind of just loose songs that we threw together. So
Right.
I get why it would kind of sound like that type of vibe. But you
Yeah.
know, whatever.
Makes
Art
sense,
is
man.
art.
To me, man, it sounded like a guy in mixtape mode. Like I can remember, like mixtape era Wayne or like Sean P in like Not Right era when it was just like these dudes sounded like they could just rap and rap and rap and continue to be entertaining forever. A
Yeah,
song a day forever and ever. And
yeah.
like, I felt like that was the mode you were in. Was just like you're not really trying to get a big like point across or whatever
No,
necessarily. It was just like
there was no
I'm gonna
theme, there
rap
was
because I'm
no
good at it.
vibe. I just kind
Yeah,
of threw some artwork together. We had like 6 or 8 songs. I think it was like 8 songs. And
right,
we just kind of threw it out. It was just it was more like it was more just like a piece of work. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't necessarily something that, and that's like I kind of just put it out and let it bubble and see what happened. You know what I mean? Like I didn't shoot no videos for it. I didn't really do no groundwork for it because I was really working on these other albums behind the scenes. And
right.
that's what I was really focused on.
But again, that maintaining consistency, maintaining presence on the scene, just dude, I think nobody listens to an album twice anymore, anyways. At this point, um,
Nope.
if they even listen to a full album at all, you're really lucky to get somebody to listen to a full album at all. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in this
100%.
era, like I
100%.
mean, as far as the average person goes, anyways, like your
Yeah.
fans will listen to your entire album or whatever. People who bought it at the show or whatever are going to listen
Hmm.
through the entire thing, but the average person discovering you on streaming or anyone else on streaming isn't, I don't think, sitting down to listen start to back or
Well,
whatever. So
the way I look at it is like this too is every album I drop, that's my catalog getting more built up and more built up and more built up. Like I just made
yeah,
this fan like maybe 2 3 days ago. I don't remember exactly, but it was a short while ago, a couple days ago. And he messaged me. He's like, "Yo, I saw your thing over here, and then I went to your band camp." He's like, "Yo, you have like 24 albums." I'm like, "Yeah, bro." You know, so like this guy's
yeah,
like, "Yo, I sat down all day and I went through your discography. You're like one of my favorite rappers or whatever." And like just to hear that
dope,
shit,
man.
I know that the work that I put in, even if it doesn't hit on the first week, second week, third week, that
Yeah, you never know
discography
when
is
people are going to find it, right? Yeah,
exactly that discography is always gonna have my back, bro. It's like having a gang behind you. You know what I mean? So like even if you miss the last release, you might come up on the next one and then you're gonna find the next one. But if you only have two,
yeah.
3 albums, you know, I don't know.
100%,
That's how I
man. Yeah, I agree 100%. It's super important to be, uh, even if it's like you said on a feature on somebody else's stuff, like
yeah.
just to maintain that you're out there and doing it, and just keep pushing in all directions, and eventually you find that 500, that 1,000, enough supporters to pay the light bill or whatever, and
Hell yeah.
keep you and your family good, man. So yeah.
Exactly.
Um, how about the album you did for the Rhyme Animal? I wanted to talk about that a little bit too. Just like what was it like producing? That's the first one you entirely produced, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
or anybody else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that
Okay.
was the first artist that I did front to back production for. I think it was like we did a deluxe version of the album that's going to be dropping in the next few weeks. So we
Nice.
redid I redid some art for that and then we added 2 new songs plus a remix with Asa and Eastwood.
Dope.
So yeah, that'll be coming out soon and it was dope, man. He's easy to work with. The guy can rap, bro, and he's a super legend and a veteran. So all I really did was send him the beats and he kind of took care of everything else. You know what I mean? Like I made a few skits and an intro and an outro. And
Okay.
then he just did everything else. The guy's self-sufficient.
Nice, man. I wondered if you had like had to engineer or what about the mix and master and stuff? Was he sending
He got
files
it. He
back to
got it
you?
all. No, he got it all done on his end. So basically, I just sent him the beats, and then he built everything over there.
Okay. Speaking of mix and master, I thought it was interesting that the new one there, the two-way mirror, was Ezza had mixed and mastered it. Said the
Yeah,
credits, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He owed me a favor,
So
so I cashed
you
in.
gave him the work nobody actually likes doing.
Yeah,
Here, here, make
I
this sound
cashed
good.
in, brother. Yeah, make this sound good. Cause damn, if I mix it, I'll end up hating the album, bro. That's what ends up happening, right? Like I heard
Oh
it so
yeah,
much that I'm like, damn, I don't even like this shit no more. Like,
right.
so he owed me a
Uh,
favor. Shout out Ezra. He got it done. You know what I'm saying?
nice. I also interviewed Dialect Sosa, and
Mm.
it's got to be something out there, man. You guys are all dope lyricists. You all will tell me you're the best in Niagara though as well on various different bars that I listen to. So I thought it was dope that you had that posse track. Who was the other dude on the posse track? Like Jack Shit or something?
Oh,
Who the fuck is
Jack
Jack Shit?
Shit. He's a dude
Okay.
from down here too. He used to be in the battle scene a lot. That's Ezra's boy.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Ezra arranged that song. I didn't know who was gonna be on the song. I just heard the beat and I gave him
Yeah.
my verse, and then I found out later that those guys were on the joint too.
Nice, man. Yeah, I like posse cuts. It's everybody barring up. No
Yeah,
real
yeah.
no real structure beyond that.
No main objective, just fucking shooting from the hip.
Yeah, man. It's annoying when somebody wants to collab and they want to fucking write about this or about that. So yeah, just why don't we just rap about something?
Yeah,
Just
rap
fucking
about some
say what you
bullshit.
want to say, man.
That's what I do mostly anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, word. Do you ever write shit that do you ever sit down to get a point across like that? Did you at some point in your life? Like, what did
But
rap
yeah, I used to
originally
be a
start
big
as kind of
writer.
a more
I used to be a big writer.
therapeutic
Like
or something? Like,
I
yeah,
started out freestyling and like battling and shit, and then I went to writing. And I used to be a really good writer, man. Like I used to be able to write really cohesive songs.
okay,
And then I got bitter about music because like my music wasn't really taking off, and I was putting in so much effort in this shit.
right,
So I was like, fuck that. Like at the end of the day, I could just sit down and say some shit and make it sound good. And
yeah,
I'm witty and wordy, so it's like I just make it work for me, you know what I mean? And then I got my workflow like that. So I haven't written an actual rap since 2017.
damn. You think you ever
Yeah.
will again? Is there
Nah.
done with it? Okay,
Done. I can never catch the vibe like I catch the vibe when I'm freestyling. Like when I write,
yeah,
it sounds like I'm reading. I know it sounds like I'm reading. You know what I mean? So like I'm never confident in my shit when I used to write my shit and read it in the booth. I didn't
okay.
like the way it sounded, but then once I started just experimenting and like being more loose with it,
But you
I
don't
liked it
think now
better.
your brain has advanced to a point where you'd be able to write and
I could probably
memorize
do
it
it,
and
but
make it sound smoother? Like,
I could probably
yeah,
do it, but I don't think I need to, man. I like the way my
fair.
workflow is now. And I got a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
songs like on my new albums. I have more like introspective, deeper shit that I've never really tried to do before because I'm usually not about talking about like my real life and real situations. I just
Right.
kind of keep it music and vibes, you know what I mean? But this new album, I have a lot of like more introspective shit. But I didn't write that either. I just kind of was in the vibe. I was going through a lot. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. You got to write what you're going through. That's
Yeah.
the roots of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How about well, I don't know. Last time I talked to you, you were the only rapper who's endorsed Trump on my show. Uh
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah,
and
he's
now we're
fucked, yo. Trump's nuts.
a year later and I'm like, well, how do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
I still don't like the Democrats. They still creep me the fuck out. I don't like
This is
them.
fair. I mean, yeah,
You know, they're
you
creepy as fuck, man. And they were pushing some weird shit, bro, that I'm a man of God. I'm not cool with it. And
okay.
Trump was more in line with like my beliefs in certain ways. Like, you know, he talks about God and stuff like that. That's cool to me. But once he got in
Sure.
office, I felt like
He'll
the
sell
man
you
just
a
started
Bible, man.
swinging. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
started swinging his dick once he got in office. Now I'm like, fuck this guy, yo. Like, what? Bozo.
A lot of his people are turning against him, it looks like, man, from
Well,
what I see at the like town
he's
halls and
unhinged.
stuff. It's just like a bunch of angry people in red states
Yeah,
fucking yelling at them. Like,
he's unhinged. But at the same time, I feel like the Democrats and Kamala and Biden, they were so in the deep state that there's no fucking chance that America had a way to get out if Trump didn't get elected. So they
yeah.
needed this chaos in order to straighten shit out because they were so dirty, man. Like the American
I
government is
think
so dirty.
I think a lot of people have that hope that from this extreme side we'll get some sort of phoenix that rises from the
We'll
ashes or
see.
whatever the
Yeah, we'll
fuck, man.
see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll
I
see.
I hope I hope something happens before they fucking invade Canada because I don't like our
Yeah,
chances in that
man. I
fight
know.
personally, man. Like,
We got all the resources and no guns, bro. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't look good. And we got Russia on the other side of us and
yeah,
no
it's gonna
allies
be
anywhere in sight.
sticky. No,
Yeah,
sticky.
yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, shit. This was kind of an improvised set of questions that I have, but I do want to ask
Yeah,
you
that's
some of
all
these
good.
how important questions
Yeah, go ahead.
still for this, man. Um, this is a first. How important is an album review? Do album reviews matter? I saw shouts to the company man, Justin Hunt, and he had Torre and two other guys talking with him who I forget now, but they were discussing whether or not album reviews matter in 2025 anymore.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I mean, how they're almost non-existent to begin with, or whatever. Uh, I've been asked if I would do album reviews for people because I type about hip hop and I'm a hip hop nerd, but
Makes sense.
I don't want to, man. I
Why?
don't know what to fucking say for paragraph after paragraph about somebody's art. Like, I don't want to analyze it
Yeah,
that much
I
and
feel
act
what you're
like I have
saying.
all the answers
Yeah.
and shit. Like, to me, it's
But
art,
yo, you
man.
know
Like,
what? For as an artist,
uh,
the journalistic intent behind those pieces, whether it's frying you or whether it's telling you you're the fucking man, like either way, the journalistic intent behind that is very commendable and respectable in a day and age where people don't take time to sit down. And like you said, like people don't take time to sit down and write a review no more.
yeah.
You know, I like if someone reviews my album, I'll take that shit to like I'll read it. I'll scour that shit. And if I find it, I'm gonna read that shit. Like
I was
even if
just
they
gonna say,
fry me, I'm happy.
I don't doubt that the artists read that shit, but does anybody else? Like,
I don't know, man. There's certain people are very, very like like they're that like high class music fan, and they really take this shit as a, like
yeah.
like someone who tries people's cooking, like you know what I mean, like a professional diner, like
And I mean, I guess those would be the type of people who are into, you know, underground indie rap or whatever, right? Like, that would
definitely.
be trying to find that stuff. So maybe it matters if, yeah, for underground albums or something. It matters for grants, it matters for fucking getting
100%.
the,
It's another thing on the internet when someone searches your name. It's another thing that's going to come up, whether it be an interview, whether it be an album review. It's another journalistic capture
yeah,
of a piece of your art, which is in words, which people can read, and you know what I mean. You can use that for sure.
yeah, yeah,
100%.
that
I think
makes
it's
sense, man.
important. Yeah,
Okay. How important is making music videos these days? Are you doing music videos for all this stuff you're dropping?
yeah. We're gonna do some videos, but they're not that important.
Okay.
YouTube is a thing of the past for most artists. Like unless you really have cultivated a crazy following on YouTube, like
Right.
a long time ago, it's really hard to get traction now. Like I have a lot of subscribers. I got like 5.5 thousand subscribers. Not a lot, but it's a lot for me.
Right.
And I still have
Sounds
trouble
like a lot
gaining.
to me, man. Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
right. Like I mean, but I still have trouble gaining traction on YouTube. I get way more views on videos, like content pieces on Instagram.
Right. How about
So
TikTok? You on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok. I probably should be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the one that they say is best for audience growth and like showing your shit to new people. But I can tell you, man, TikTok doesn't like my flying formation clips like Instagram likes them, which isn't even that fucking many on Instagram. But like, um, at least on Instagram, the people who follow me are there for hip hop and they're there for the underground hip hop or whatever. I think on TikTok, people are just like, what the fuck is this? On to the next thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. There's so much. It's like a 15-second uh time limit on attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, and they just want to see a guy get kicked in the nuts or fucking,
so do I. You
you,
know what I
you
mean? Like
know
I hear
what? Yeah,
you.
well,
Yeah.
me too, man. That's the thing. Like, I
I don't
scroll
go on these
TikTok
apps to check
myself
for music
sometimes. Like,
either, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to see
yeah,
people fall off shit or get hit by a car, and like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That type of shit.
Well, I mean, sometimes, right? Sometimes, yeah. I'm looking for all different sorts of things, and sometimes I do watch the interview clips or whatever. Like, there's a few like Art of Dialect or whatever is an IG account I follow that shows fucking podcast clips of rappers talking shit or whatever. I like hearing, you know, the Locks tell some fucking crazy story or
Crazy story
whatever.
or
Like,
something. Yeah. I watch like DJ
yeah,
Vlad and like shit like that, just like interviewing people. And I do watch content because honestly, like I haven't watched TV or movies in years. Like I just watch YouTube.
yeah,
Like that's it. I don't really watch. If I'm gonna watch something, I'm on YouTube, like, or I'm making music or I'm playing the game or something like that. You know what I mean?
that checks out, man. That you don't watch a lot of, Netflix or whatever. Netflix takes
Mm-mm.
out of people's creative time.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't. Yeah, I'd rather build something, bro. 100%.
yeah. It takes a long time to get through Game of Thrones or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. I'm not. I can't get into series and stuff because, like you said, man, it's a time sink. Like I could spend that 60 hours. I could probably churn out an album.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yo, I do have more stuff on the way. I just did an album with this producer group called Lupara. I don't
Okay.
know if you ever heard of them.
No.
They're fire,
What's
bro.
what's their story?
So basically, it's like 8 dudes from all over the world. There's like guys in Australia, there's dude in Miami, there's guy in Japan, there's like
8 of them. So it's like one of these fucking Anno
UK.
Domini beat
It's
warehouses,
like a
pretty
yeah,
much.
it's like a
Okay.
Wu-Tang international Wu-Tang producer syndicate. But anyway, we
Okay.
banged out an album. And man, this shit turned out crazy, bro. So that's in the
So,
pipeline, hopefully for May or June.
so with producers around the world, does it have some sort of like, I don't know, exotic vibe? How do I
It's
even say that?
dope.
Some
It's
like
dope.
world music vibe to it? Is there
That makes sense.
sounds
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
used to hearing?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's got a variation of sounds and stuff. Like this dude from Denmark, like they're all over the place. So it's definitely like we're in a group chat together. We're building the album. Like some of these guys don't speak English. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Damn.
So
That's
we're
got to be tricky. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, right? But like you know what I mean. Like, but we figured it out, and we did 14 joints, 2 records each producer.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So shout out those guys.
Just you rapping or none? They're all just producers.
They're all producers. So it's
Okay.
basically it's Flu Dust, Timepiece, Mighty Healthy, Bohemian Lynch. Oh fuck.
These are dope names.
Yeah, SB11 and Hobgoblin. So
Okay.
basically, yeah, these 7 dudes, they did 2 joints each, and we did an album. We got features from Jamal Gasol,
Nice.
Danielson, and Soze Sapphire. So it's
Dope.
filled. So yeah.
You'd worked with those guys before though, Jamal Gasol, Danielson.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
an album with Jamal Gasol last September.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope how tight knit the scene out there
Hmm.
seem to be. As much as everybody tells me, I at the end of every one of these things I ask like describe the scene or whatever, and everybody says like it's disconnected or whatever. But like I don't know. I see motherfuckers working all the time, really. Like there's quite
The
a
good
few
one, the real
connections.
ones link up, man. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're around and not long enough and you're putting in the work, like certain people are gonna be like, yo, just work with you off GP because you've been putting in the work like them. It makes sense, right? Synergy. So
Yeah, 100%, man. Uh, People see the momentum and they want to match it or whatever, want to get on board.
yeah.
Um, how important is getting your streaming numbers up?
I mean, it's always gonna be important because it's exposure. The payout, if you're banking on living off streaming numbers, you better have a lot of streams.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
or
saying? I
or use
use it
that
more as a
even shit or
billboard.
whatever. I don't even
Yeah,
know
yeah. I don't
what
I
that
don't buy
really is.
bots. I don't buy bots and I don't pay
Okay,
for like, you know what I mean, like promotion on my Spotify and shit. So it's all organic. Like, whether I get 4,000, 5,000, that's just real people checking the music or it's people coming back checking music. But
yeah,
I don't bank on streams. I don't really worry. I don't sweat the numbers about that because it's more about I more am like meticulously on Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying? Doing analytics and like seeing this and sales and fucking all that shit. Like Bandcamp, I'm in that bitch because that's where I'm like direct to the consumer.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's right to their doorstep and they
You
put their
got
email
physicals for
in.
all your albums right there on Bandcamp?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
doing physicals too through DITCD. It's my
okay,
boy out in Hawaii. He does like a lot of the underground shit that's going on now. So he does like special editions. We did like a Smoke Wave DVD with him.
nice.
I did a YFWN crate with like 11 of the YFWNs all in one crate, and they all look like a record, like black CDs with the fucking vinyl shit. So it's
Dope.
official. Yeah, we're gonna be dropping that soon.
That's wild that
But
he's
yeah,
based out in
man.
Hawaii, man. That must
Yeah,
be
he's
an
on
arm and a leg
Hawaii.
for
Yeah, it's
shipping.
random.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it ain't the best, but I mean, we'll figure it out, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How about how important is winning industry awards? It was just
I
the
don't give a shit.
Junos last weekend. Do you give
I don't
any
give a
fucks
shit
about the
about that.
Junos?
Nah, I don't even pay attention to that shit. They don't even consider me an artist over there, so I don't pay attention to those people.
I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know. You gotta apply to them, right? Like,
You
it's not
gotta
that they
apply, but
consider anybody an artist. It's like who writes the
yeah, you
best
gotta
fucking
apply.
grant
I don't
application.
bother
Like,
that shit because I'm not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really look for the accolades like that.
yeah, yeah,
I'd rather get accolades from my fellow rappers. You know what I'm saying?
weird, man. Yep. You were one of the I forget top 10, top 20 artists on AtSick last year. That's for sure. You were well played on AtSick when I
I
counted up
appreciate you,
the
brother.
the stats at the end of the year. Yeah, man. Um, how important is it that listeners understand your lyrics?
Most people probably not gonna understand my lyrics, right? And that's cool because at the end of the day, if they do understand my lyrics, they're gonna be a fan if they get it. If it goes over their head, then they probably won't like none of my shit anyway, because I'm not ever gonna say nothing straight out. I'm
Right.
gonna run around and say shit. You know what I mean? So it's like that's only gonna resonate with certain people, but I'm cool with that. I've always been that type of rapper.
Makes sense. Yeah. I think I think it's the ones that want to go mainstream that it's more important that they're saying things people understand. More so, you know.
You listen to that new West Side Gun album. I
I
mean, that's
haven't
probably
actually. No, no. I listen to
it's
so much Canadian stuff. I hardly have any time for Americans anymore, man.
that's
I
good.
should.
That's. I always check out new content pieces. Like if it's underground rap, I'll check it out because I just want to see where people are at. You know what I'm saying? And
I've
he,
listened to a few of the Griselda projects over the last
he's
couple of
saying a
years, but
lot of
not
shit
the
that's
newest one.
just he's saying a lot of shit that's just direct. Like he probably only understands, but it's fly to him, so who cares, right? You know what I mean? That's cool to me. Like I like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's my favorite shit, man. Ghostface, fucking Supreme
Yeah,
Clientele shit, right?
hell yeah.
Yeah. How important is consistency? We kind of talked about this already, but put
Eight,
it into a
nine,
soundbite.
9,000% important. If you're an artist and you're not being consistent, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Fully.
So with that though, is there room to still experiment? Is there room to fuck around? Is there room to uh drop something that you're not really sure of just because you fucking made it and like somebody might fuck with it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Always,
Yeah,
always, always. I think that's part of being an artist, man. You're gonna drop a lot of shit that's gonna bomb.
yeah,
You got to be cool with that. Like I said, that I had a bar like that. It was like sometimes like my biggest songs are songs I hate. I guess I really don't know how to fucking judge my shit. You know, like I said it better than that, but it's true.
yeah,
Like I don't really, when I make shit, I don't know if it's good or not. Cause at the end of the day, I'm just gonna be like, it's me. I can't really judge my shit. But I'm
yeah.
gonna send it to the homies. They're gonna be like, "Yo, this one's fire, yo. I'm not really feeling that one," you know. And that's
Well, and
how it kind of.
sometimes, yeah, it's tough to tell whether the verse you've just written is one that people are gonna feel or like,
But
yeah,
if I do a feature, it's. I think I'm a good feature rapper because if you just give me an open space in a song and it's forced on me because I didn't pick the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like they're giving me a beat. I didn't select this beat. So a lot of times when I'm rapping on these beats, it's not shit I would pick for myself.
okay,
So
yeah,
it's a challenge, right? So it's like that's why I feel like I'm always trying to show it on features because it's almost like a challenge for me. Because I'm not
yeah.
picking it. It's not my selection. You know what I'm saying? So
That makes a lot of sense, man. I've always
yeah,
liked that, hearing different, the legends over top of different weird production that you wouldn't normally hear them on or
for
whatever. But it's
sure.
like, oh,
For
okay,
sure.
like, yeah, managed to do it. Um, how important is showing up for sound check for shows?
Yeah, it's important as shit, man. What?
I
Man, you
don't
better
know.
go to sound. You better go to sound check,
I
man. You
feel
better
like
be at
some of the
sound check.
fuckers they
Yeah,
got great
nah,
big
hell nah.
heads, and they're like, no,
No,
I'm
you
too
never that
important for
good. You
that
better
shit.
be at sound check, my boy. That's your job. That's your if that shit don't sound right, that's on you.
Dude, did you see? I saw a clip like 2 or 3 days ago.
Mhm.
KRS-One fucking yelling at a sound man. He was walking through the crowd, and he came right up to the sound man, and he's fucking. Honestly, it was some whack freestyle that he was kicking to the sound man about how the sound man was fucking shit up, and people in the comments were like, "Yo, he
He
should have
does
just
this.
hit the mute button or something." But
Yo,
there were
people were
people saying it
saying
was part of his show too. That was
so
the other thing.
basically this is what I saw. It was a play like he scams the promoter. So basically he'll run that show and then he'll make a big deal about the show and then after he gets off, he presses the promoter like, "Yo, now you got to pay me more cuz you
Because you
fucked the
fucked shit
sound
up.
up during my set."
Wow,
I
that's
wouldn't be
funny if that's
surprised,
the
yo.
truth, man.
Honestly, fuck KRS-One anyway. I don't like that guy. He's corny to me. He's corny and he hangs out with Africa Bambaataa. Goodbye. My you go see you.
Oh
Goodbye.
man! All right.
He's a legend.
I
He's a
still like
legend.
KRS-One, but that one clip a couple days ago
He's a
had me just
legend,
being
bro.
like,
A
oh
lot of
man,
he does a lot of questionable shit, man. Like cosign pedophile. So you know what I mean? I don't rock with KRS-One.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough, man. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Each their
Yeah.
own. Does he fuck with Bambaataa like that? I don't even know.
Yeah, man. Hell
Okay.
yeah.
All
Hell
right. All
yeah.
right.
Bambaataa was
Uh,
touching them kids, man.
That's what they say, man. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Did he get charged and shit? I don't know.
Hell yeah. I believe he did.
We gonna
Yeah.
get sued
And
for
it
libel
was a
here? Okay.
hey man, yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Allegedly.
don't know who did what. This is on the record here, so I'm not fucking trying to say anybody
Yeah,
did
this is
anything.
all on flying formation, buddy. This is all on him. Just remember that. No, I'm playing. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's sound is important. You got to be a sound check
Yeah, for
for
real, man.
sure. Yeah.
How about I couldn't remember if I asked you this last time, but how important is the physical location of an artist? Does it matter where you're at?
It used to more. I feel like now in the internet age, like you could really blow up from home. You don't even really gotta leave your house if you get lucky. But for like 99% of people, you gotta go meet people and you gotta get out there. So traveling is important if you live in like a where I live, you know what I'm saying? Like out in the middle of nowhere type shit.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. How important is it that women like the music you make? You got some scary music, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just on my Spotify shit and it's 85% is male
yeah.
of my
That's about the
listeners.
fly in formation
You
audience
know,
as well, man.
85%. So
Uh,
yeah, there's 15% females who like want that raw hip hop shit. And I'm not surprised to be honest. I know a lot of like I grew up with a lot of girls, like I went to school with a lot of girls and shit that love raw, like hardcore hip hop or like listen to Big L nonstop. And
I mean, I think
that's
there's probably more female like horror, movie fans like of the horror genre than
hmm
there are men. At least I've met more
Yeah,
women, I
that would
think,
make
that
sense.
that
Yeah.
are into horror movies. So maybe they're into horrorcore too. I don't
Yeah, that makes
I don't
sense.
know. It doesn't seem to cross over like that, but
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
um you ever make a song and think like this is one for the ladies? Like
Never.
it's time to put on my ladies voice.
Never. You
This
know what?
one for
Like
the ladies.
throughout my whole career, everyone who is always like either trying to like manage me or trying to like guide my career in some way was always really pushing me towards like make music for girls, bro. Make music for girls. Like you got that look, you could pull it off, blah blah blah. But I'm just so deep, knee deep in hardcore rap that there's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can
Wouldn't
make that
feel
shit.
authentic, eh?
Yeah, I can make
Yeah.
it, but it's like I just feel like I'd be wasting my time because it's like, you know, and also like, you know, I'm not a young spring chicken no more, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that
They probably
opportunity
weren't lying
passed
to
and I'm
you though,
cool
man.
with it. I'm cool
If
with it.
if you want to sell records, I think it's important that
Girls
you
gotta
or
like your
anybody
music
else make
for
music that
sure.
women like. But
For sure. I agree. I never really tapped into that market. Like I did a few singles, like a song called Pretty Girl Killer, and I was trying like songs with Jordan, the R&B artist Jordan, songs with
okay, yeah,
him. And like,
yeah,
you know, I did a lot of crossover shit earlier in my career because I was actually trying to be in the industry. Like I was really gunning to actually be like an industry artist.
sure,
And
yeah.
I had the talent. I felt I had the talent anyway, you know what I mean, back then. But over the years, I just became such a
Dude, I
fan
don't
of
even.
like the
Of
real
course, you
shit.
had the talent. Don't fucking sell yourself short. Oh, I thought I had the talent. Like, nah, man. They
You know
they
what I mean
managed
though?
to
Like
make
it's a different,
motherfuckers blow up who don't got your talent.
yeah,
Whether it was
yeah.
10 years ago or whatever. Like, there's a lot of people who aren't putting words together in any sort of scientific way and that blow up.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
true.
take a ton, man. I think
It's
a
true.
lot of it comes down to image and marketing, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I
yeah,
never really had nobody like really put money behind me, so it was always just myself funding shit out of pocket. And when you're playing the that type of industry level, like make trying to be an industry standard artist, you have to play in that level, ball game, budget, promotion, marketing, things of that nature. And I
yeah.
can't keep up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. I got like, you know, a family. I got a child. I got adult responsibilities. I take care of my mom. There's a lot of shit going on. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but the underground, I feel like, yo, if I can satisfy 300-400 people and make them buy, you know, 6-7 albums with some merchandise over the year, and I can convince them that my shit's collectible and it's dope and it's a piece of art,
Yeah, man.
then, you know, you can live. I've been living off this shit for a year. Like I haven't had a job for a year. I quit my job and I was like, figure it
I
out.
think I
I
think
quit my
yeah,
job
you
right
had
when we
just
had that podcast. I was like the first month where I never had a job, never had a paycheck. I was like, damn, like, because I had
you were
jobs for
like,
like a
damn,
few
I don't got
years.
a job. I better start doing podcasts.
I better start. Yeah, I better start doing podcasts. Better start doing albums, everything. Right. I was designing a video game. Like I make sure I put my time into getting my skills, building my skills. You know what I'm saying? So,
I saw that video game you were designing. Please tell me
mhm.
about that. I wouldn't have asked you about that, but I'm glad you brought it up.
So like,
What the fuck was going on there? It's like a side scroll platformer. What are you building?
yeah, I was making like a Mario-esque platformer with Freddy Krueger as the character. I was designing the pixels, designing the characters, and then I just did a little bit of YouTube about coding and shit like that. And I kind of like put some shit together, and I'm still working on it now. But I was thinking about putting out an album in the video game. So basically,
Okay.
every level is a song, and if you want to hear the next song, you basically got to beat the level and put it out as a app on a phone and shit like that. So I'm thinking of different creative ideas because I know that you got to do shit to stand out these days. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. Yeah, man.
yeah.
I mean, you got to get the kids addicted and then sell them skins. That's how the fucking video games make
Yep.
money.
We'll do the
Yeah, man.
Doobyis skid. There you go.
Yeah, there you go, man. Okay. So what you gonna be like chopping up rappers in the game? Is that the fucking idea? Eat a
Yeah,
rapper for
yeah.
lunch and shit out the
I
chain
think
stuff?
so. I think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I gotta add some blood and some fucking effects and do the background. It's gonna take a long time, but it's just like a fun project. I'm gonna see where it goes, you know?
Yeah, man. Shit, even if it turns into a music video or something, just some. Actually, a lot of fucking TikToks I see, they use half the screen to just show some fucking video game while the other half of the screen is doing whatever because people's attention span is so short,
You're
they need
crazy,
flashing
bro.
colors
Yeah,
to
they gotta
stare
run
at
like
it.
GTA 5 on the bottom to have your attention. It's insane. But
Yeah.
that's the speed we're living at now.
So you at least could put your own video game and then have you rapping something above it. Maybe somebody will pay attention, man.
Exactly.
Um, how important is paid advertising? You doing that
I
for
don't
any of
do
these
it.
albums?
I don't do paid advertising. I usually just do organic shit. You know what I mean? I get covered by certain media that mess with my music. I build
Yeah,
relationships with them and kind of just move like that. It's different. It's more of a grassroots approach, I feel, with underground rap, you
for
know?
real.
And you
Yeah,
can kind of, like I said, like on Bandcamp, I have like 1,500 people that I can message at the click of a button that actually like my music because they gave me their email. So it's like, just go right to the customer. Why like waste time?
that helps, man. That's the one big tip I always see them telling everybody is like get away from the social media platforms, all of it. You want everybody to join your mailing list so that then you have their email forever.
Exactly. You got
Yeah.
it.
Um, how important is getting features from big name artists? Have you ever thought about like paying some legend,
Um,
or
yeah,
for that
I
matter, even
thought
just
about
big
it.
name artists from Toronto or whatever, like paying
Yeah,
for those
I
features or
thought
whatever?
about it. I thought about it before. I never really like paid for a big name artist, but I did get lucky enough to do some songs with bigger artists. Like I had a song with Sean Price. I had a song with
Mhm.
Rascass. Just a few like, you know what I mean, C Ray's Walls, different people like that, Logic back in the day. And that was just off relationships, you know what I mean? Like building relationships
You
with the
did a song
producer.
with Logic. That
Yeah.
that seems out of the
Yeah.
blue. Okay,
He was like he wasn't like big back then. And he was cool, man. He was cool as shit. Like we used to build and shit online and just yeah, we ended up doing a joint.
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like Sean P. I feel like that checks out.
Sean Price is a legend. Like I grew up off Helter Skelter big time. So it's like
Dude. I
Sean P.
realized the other day, like he was one of the first rappers that really impacted me when he passed because like I was really into his music
Me
actually at
too.
that time,
Me too.
uh and it was like damn, like for real I
Yeah,
was
man.
fucking hoping he was just going to keep putting out albums and like
He was on a
he
roll, bro, when he was dealing
yeah,
with I think
man.
he was on Koch at the time and he was putting out like monkey bars and he did that little series of like tapes there. That was
Yeah,
hard.
Monkey Bars and Jesus Price or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, he
He had a
was on
good
fire
run.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out
R.I.P.
Quake
Sean
though.
Price.
Quake facilitated that. Quake had the verse from Sean Price and put me on a song.
Okay. Nice.
We got to
I mean,
actually me and Quake got a song coming out, I think April 6th.
nice. That's a
Yeah.
big look. Yeah, Quake's
Yeah.
been doing a
Yeah.
lot of work lately, man. He's
Yeah. Quake's dope.
always posting videos, like getting shout outs from Scarface and shit. I was like,
Yo,
all right, Quake's.
this guy's the content master, bro. This guy, I'm like, yo, teach me your ways, because like I suck at content, bro. Like I'm not a personable guy, so it's hard for me to talk to my phone like that. He's good
Look,
though.
I love Quake Matthews' music. I appreciate him. He's been nice to me when I've messaged him online. He sent over a drop for Atzik,
Yeah,
shouts
he's
to
cool.
Quake.
Yeah, show Quake.
But we don't need the sandwich reviews, I don't think.
Yo,
I
it's
just, you know,
he's he's
whatever.
he's he's smart because yo, he's talented like me where he could be an underground dude like me and just be stomping on necks. Like he has that ability to rap.
Yeah,
I've known
yeah,
Quake like for a long time, like 15, 16 years, you know what I mean? So Quake's been had that ability to rap. He used to be in Team Offense, that whole group shit that we were talking about. Quake was
right,
like the young guy that Littles brought on from Nova Scotia. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and he was the other white guy. So it was exciting, right? It's like, oh, another white guy who can rap. And Quake was
right.
dope, bro. He is dope. Quake is dope. But he just, I think he feels like, yo, like I could be more than just an I'm cool with being an underground rapper. I want to be an underground rapper. I don't want to be mainstream, but I feel he wants to take it to a next level. And he's,
He's
you know, he's
making
doing
moves.
country song.
He's doing those
He's
moves. Yeah,
doing his thing. He's doing
I
that's
was
what you have to
thinking
do. Look
about
at
the country
Sunreal.
song as well. Yeah,
Look
but
at Sunreal, right? Sunreal used to rapidy rap, and he
right.
transitioned his shit, and now he's on tour every year. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
hey man.
Yeah. That crossover, that's how you make the money, man. I
Hey
mean,
man, if I could
it,
do it, I probably would, but I'm just so, like I said, knee deep entrenched in making hardcore hip hop, bro.
hey, your fans love it, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
for it.
God
Yeah.
bless. God bless.
Okay. Uh, how about how important is pressing vinyl?
Super important in the underground.
Yeah.
I feel like if you got a vinyl nowadays, that's like a sign that, like, yo, like I got something going on, dogs. Like, you know, someone's buying my 12-inch. Like, it's almost like back to like that early 90s vibe where it's like if you had a 12-inch, it was like impressive. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Like vinyl is actually still some sort of bar to jump over because
Mm-hmm.
the bar for entry has lowered and lowered and lowered as, you know, prices for mics and preamps and everything else has come down and everybody has the mic booth in their fucking house
Uh-huh.
now. So like, you know, it costs $15 to get your song on Spotify. Like that's not really a hurdle. That's not really like a mark of like, oh, look what I did or whatever. But
You
like
can run that
vinyl,
from your bedroom, right? Like,
yeah, vinyl though, somebody bankrolled that. You know, that was an investment that either the artist or a label or whoever put behind that. So like somebody trusts that music was going to sell, and you know, yeah, I
it
think it.
must be good enough to put that piece of wax in the machine, melt it down, and to press it into a fucking record, right? Like that's how I look at it. And I think it's just cool to have your music forever encased in plastic. You know what I'm saying? It's like a physical object, like tangible object you can hold. And the art is big as fuck and it looks dope. And I love
I
vinyl,
also
man.
love that. Like I'm a collector, bro. I got fucking shelves and shelves of comic books. I got fucking anything you can collect. I
Yeah, as
like
you
to
can
collect
see,
shit or
I
whatever, right?
collect too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, exactly. Um, I'm definitely I have a huge CD collection from back in the day or whatever, like when CDs were what people bought. And now I just build my fucking digital library, and that scratches the collection itch, honestly. But I still love the idea, like you said, of having physical shit. It's just like this apartment's only so big. Like I already got a storage unit where we put boxes of shit that we aren't using. Like, how many fucking boxes of shit am I going to move to the storage unit? At some point, you just got to fucking stop buying shit or whatever, or get the
Yeah.
bigger house, I guess.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. Part of me is like, that just feels like gluttony at some point. Like,
Sometimes
uh,
you gotta let go of
but
shit. If it really doesn't make you happy anymore, sell it to someone who's gonna make him happy.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I
Well,
look
and I
at
guess
it.
that's the thing is vinyl holds worth like a motherfucker, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's almost an investment. I mean, it is an investment. There's motherfuckers out
Definitely.
there who, as soon as something drops, they're buying 10 copies of it so that they can resell it for more or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Look at these. There's a lot of Canadian artists. These guys put out albums. It might be only like 50 copies limited release, but they sell
yeah,
out, man. So it's like there's 50 people that want that shit. So that means
yeah.
that there's a million. That means that there's a million people out there who want that shit. You just gotta find them.
And jump in front of them screaming somehow with all the
Yeah, you
other
gotta get their
fucking
attention with
flashing
consistency
noises and
or
uh,
quality, man. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, man. It's uh, the attention economy or whatever. Tough to get people's attention out here.
Yeah, man. I
Um,
just look at it like another. It's just another part of rap, right? Like getting the attention now is like you really have to say some impressive shit or come across it. Like you got to stick out, or someone's not really gonna check for your shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So now it's like I said, it's just back to a skills based game because you got to get the attention.
definitely. Um, how about sound quality? How important is a mix or master?
I don't know.
Mix and master.
I do all my shit at my crib. I don't really outsource too often. Like I sent my shit to Ezra to mix, and the Lupara album, Timepiece is mixing that, and the Finn album, Finn will be mixing that. So I
Yeah.
kind of got my hands out of the mixing right now, which is good because I don't want to mix, but I mix out of necessity.
Do you know guys who have went to like engineer school? Because I know guys, a couple of them, and every guy I
Uh
know who's went to engineer school, like they can get a mix sounding like bigger, a little bit nicer than my shit's gonna. But I don't know if anyone cares. I
no,
don't know if it
90% of
matters at
people are
that point.
listening on their iPhone, dog. Like that's what I figure, right? Like 90% of people are gonna listen to your music on Spotify and probably on their iPhone.
Well, and if me, the artist who made the song, listening to their version versus my version, can barely hear a difference,
Yeah.
like nobody else is hearing a difference. I don't think.
Nah,
You know,
unless you're a super audiophile, like certain people are like that, like they
that's
really are
the
into
thing.
audio, then you're gonna hear those frequencies that might be a little off. But another thing about underground rap is messy is okay.
Yeah,
You can kind of have messy, like it doesn't have to be polished like a Michael Jackson record, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's another blessing because and again, it's such a loose art form. Underground rap is such a loose art form. You can have so much fun with it, so much different creative lanes that you could take it. But
for real.
I feel like a lot of people are just doing boring shit like wrestling or like the shit that's already been done by the main guys. And I feel like people got to kind of like branch out and make it more creative.
Yeah, I mean, like anime samples or yeah, wrestling samples,
Yeah.
crime movie samples. Man, it's tough
Yeah.
though. There's no new ideas under
Yeah,
the sun or
even the
whatever,
crime
right?
movie
Like
samples, we did that on our last shit, and that's been done 100 times. But it's just how you do it, right? Like you got to kind
that's
of
the
make it
thing.
make sense for your project.
I was saying the other day in one of these interviews that like it's not it's not that I hate people who are doing trope music, like who
Yeah,
are doing one of the main tropes of hip hop. Like
yeah,
gangster rap has always been a thing, and like
huh?
the ones who impress me are the ones who come up with new, witty, fun fucking ways to say the same shit that everybody's been saying for 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. And that's to me is amazing. And in the same way that, like, you know, as a comic nerd or whatever, like different authors take over Batman and write a different story for him. And it's still fucking Batman. And you think like they've been writing this character for 70 fucking years, but like still some motherfucker sits down and thinks up the new storyline that challenges Batman's fucking psyche in a way that it hasn't or whatever. It breaks
Didn't
his,
like
you know, like,
Todd McFarlane did Batman at one point?
well, probably, man. Yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think so. He's famous
Yeah,
for Spawn
yeah,
and
Spawn.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
a lot of work on too, but
I follow Todd McFarlane. Yeah, he was the one that was like doing the crazy webs on Spider-Man's face and shit. And people were like,
yeah,
what the fuck are you doing? They were cheese because they were like, this is not how Spider-Man is supposed to be drawn. And he was doing all
yeah,
those weird poses and the weird bone, like rubber
yeah.
bone shit. And people are like, that's not even like how the physical structure is built. But he was like, yo, fuck it, this is me.
It's a
And look at Todd
superhero. Like,
McFarlane, bro. Look at Todd McFarlane. He's a legend, bro.
yeah,
Super
yeah, hell
legend.
yeah, man.
I was just watching that
Uh
HBO Spawn shit from like 1998. I don't know if you were familiar with it. There was like a cartoon that was
dude,
run on HBO.
I saw somebody talking about that online the other day and was like, I should see
Bro,
if I can find a torrent of
my
that
yo,
shit.
it's
Yeah.
all on YouTube. You can just watch it on
Oh, is it?
YouTube. But
Okay.
yo,
Nice. Yeah.
bro, that shit is so cold, bro. Like, yeah, Todd's a legend, bro.
Yeah. He did album art for Swollen Members. They had an album that had
Yep,
an album cover
I
by
remember that.
Todd
Yep,
McFarlane. Yeah.
yep, that's
That's
crazy.
that's dope. Just as like, you know, a Canadian group to be like, you'll get
They
Todd
were like, yo,
McFarlane to draw that shit.
they were doing their thing back then, man. Like they
For
really
real,
had
man.
a
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with like if they put out music anymore, what's going on with that, but
I mean, they're both out there doing their thing. I don't know honestly what happened either, but
people were telling me
they do still put out
Mad
music.
Child was like selling people like memberships to Battle Axe Records and selling them jackets, and I think
That
it fucked
happened.
his shit up because
As
people were
somebody
talking
from
bad about
Edmonton, I can tell you that that happened.
it.
I was near the heart of it, and I hated it right from the start.
Yeah.
Uh,
He
these
was
dudes,
monetizing that shit early, bro.
yeah, man, these dudes, Brothers Grimm, who I talked to about this on Fly
Yeah,
Formation a while back. They're like a prominent Edmonton group, still doing their thing or whatever.
yeah.
But they're no longer Battle Axe Warriors, whereas like back then they were like Battle Axe Generals or something, and
Oh
yeah, it was all
yeah.
about like
He was smart, bro.
buying in and
He
shit.
knew how to like cult like make his fan base into a cult, right? And like sell him a piece of it. Like he's smart, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was like a beautiful pyramid marketing scheme, man. Just like
Yeah,
honestly, it was like super effective, right? Like it hit the
bro.
poor
These
white
guys
guy
were
audience that it was supposed to hit.
that trailer trash audience was in, bro. What do you mean,
They
bro? Like they
they
were,
fucking
yeah, man.
loved it. Yeah.
They were in. Yeah. God
Self
bless. Shout out
acceptance.
Battle Axe.
Shout out Battle
Yeah,
Axe.
shout out
Right.
Mocha Only, man. He's the only guy who has more albums than me, bro.
Prevail's still out there dropping music that I actually like though.
That's
Him and his
dope.
brother, they have oh man, I'm not going to be able to think of the name of their group, but him and his younger brother actually have a group, and
Dope.
they put out like consistently good music that it's like real like soulful vibes a lot of the time, like, but they're still rapping on it and stuff. Like,
That's dope.
yeah, I like it. Alpha Omega, that's the name of their group, Alpha Omega.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Yeah, man. How important is the rollout for an album? Planning a
Super
rollout for an
important. I
album.
was thinking about this today. Super important.
Yeah.
Super important. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
several videos and stuff. I saw today. I saw Kripal. He has a new video coming out. Edmonton rapper.
I know
And
Kripal. Yeah.
yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
he did one video a couple days ago where it was like the same bars as this new video he put out today, and I saw it today, and like today he's sitting in front of a bunch of TV screens or whatever, and it was nicely edited together where like he'd pop up on the different screens behind himself. But I noticed it was the same chunk of the same song from a couple days ago that was like with a different visual, and I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that advice that people should do that shit, but like
Yeah.
uh
I
I don't
seen
know, it's
like
a lot.
that's more of like the TikTok strategy, I think, is using the same piece of content and making different pieces of content using the same 15
Right.
seconds of the same song. Because you're
Yeah.
trying to brand that little 15 seconds. It's a different approach, you know what I'm
Well, and
saying?
you want to do the
It's a different
visuals
approach.
like the social media clips a little while before the single comes out. Like probably the single's going to drop on Friday. I'm
Yeah,
guessing, you
yeah.
know. And then when I hear it on my Spotify, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is that verse that I
I
heard
remember that
twice in the
clip.
last
Yeah,
week or
exactly,
whatever. Right.
exactly,
So
exactly. Yeah.
for guys like me that are paying that much attention, I think
Well,
it kind
you
of
noticed, right?
yeah, right.
So
It brings me back to it when I hear it later or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah.
remember it. Yeah,
I
man.
got you.
But are you doing stuff like that, or like what goes into your planning
Now,
an album rollout?
usually like the vibe first. Once the music's done, I usually like direct the art somehow. Either I'll get someone to make it or I'll make it myself. And then usually like I'll do a release with like a video or two and use that video to make different pieces of content for Instagram, YouTube shorts. Have the main
Okay.
video on YouTube still and kind of just roll it out like that. Shake hands, talk to, you know what I mean? Hit you guys up, people like you, and get the music circulating. And then it kind of just gains organic spin, you know what I mean? And you just kind of just build it like that. That's how I do my rollouts anyway. Like, everything's organic. So, but I've
Yeah.
done it so many times that it's second nature to me now, almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense, man. You're doing 6 a year or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind
Constantly
of just I know
in
what to do
promotion mode.
now. Yeah. Like I feel like I could take an artist, build them an album, do the art direction, do the rollout. Like I could cater to like that whole front to back experience now because of so much time that I've spent doing my thing. You know what I mean? So
You know what's kind of trippy, bro, is that you put out so much music that your last album is kind of like the rollout for the next album, and on and on and on and on, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
you
hard when you don't
never
have a
really
lot of
fall
time in
back.
between. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because you can't. The minute you fall back, someone else is dropping and someone forgot that Sayzee exists. So
Yeah.
I gotta keep the pressure, like, and they gotta make it quality too. Like, gotta impress a motherfucker, right? Because that's what they're here for. They want to hear
Yeah.
bars. They want to hear that's or they wouldn't be checking for artists like me. Period.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is when I ask producers, and now that you're a producer, I'll ask you, how important is
Definitely.
the gear that you use for producing?
I mean, depends how if you know how to use it. I've been in studios where we had everything plus some, and the product was shit. And I've been in
Right.
studios where it's a guy on a fucking laptop in a hotel room smoking blunts, and he's making slappers. So it's like, nah, gear don't really matter. I mean, overall, the sound quality, if you have Neve preamps and all this other shit, it's gonna sound way better. But in this day and age, you're more using the music to brand yourself so people can buy into whatever you're selling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it
Yeah.
matters that much.
You just reminded me, man. The way I wanted to describe your Two-Way Mirror album was like just blunt music. That album made
That
me
makes
want to,
sense. It's like a
yeah,
hot
made me want to
box, like a hot box in a dirty
roll
Niagara Falls
something.
hotel room.
For real.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's
Was
like.
that one of those sessions?
Yeah, it
Was that
sounds
where
like
it
it.
happened?
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
we built it all online. And then he just came over and we went over like make sure the arrangement was right and shit. So we built in person, but most of the stuff was built online before we linked up.
Nice.
Because he lives out there, I live out here, so it's just easier to do it online.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, how about how important is a producer drop or producer tag or whatever you call those things
I was
at
having this
the start of your
conversation.
songs?
Yeah, I like them. I like them because I like to know like that the producer made the beat, you know?
Yeah.
At the same time, I think that producers don't want to necessarily, it's almost like, like at the end of a cartoon, they would have like the little 3 second like logo pop up with the little jingle and it would like stick in your fucking head, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It would stick in your head. And I think that's what that's all about is just branding. Like,
Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah.
I think it's definitely, yeah, it's all about branding, but I mean, some producers use them, some don't. I don't know. So I always like to ask people, are you going to make one? Do you have one?
I have one that I use sometimes, but like I'll use it like every other beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Um, all right, man. Well, yeah, that's the hour mark. We've done it. You know,
Oh, we did it.
we've
We threw this
we
shit
made it.
together. My guy, my
I
guy, my guy.
appreciate you, dude.
That
I
short notice
appreciate you
flame. I appreciate
coming.
you, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, coming through on the short notice for sure,
Yeah,
man.
man.
So before I let you go, can you describe the local scene? Talk about Niagara, talk about Toronto, whatever you want to talk.
Yo, Toronto right now for the underground scene, it's insane. Like it's actually amazing. And the guys who are putting out art and putting out the crazy projects, Canada is like at a level where I never thought I would see it go musically. And on top of that, when I talk to people in America, they used to only bring up Drake, and now they're bringing up names like Raz Fresco, Daniel Son. They know about these guys.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's Canada's becoming its own thing apart from Drake.
Good.
Now I'm finding, right, which is cool because we need that separation. Because if he's not putting on for all the artists need to be able to grow on their own. Can't
Have
be
you
stuck
run
in that
into
fish tank.
any Americans who are on like a fuck Canada tip because it was
Hell no,
America
not to
versus
me.
Canada? Like,
Hell no.
okay. Yeah.
No, not one. No, I got a
Because
lot of friends
I
over there.
kind of worried
Nobody.
about that. I saw like as that all was shaking out or whatever, there was a lot of
It's more like
sentiment
40-year
online
old
about
Facebook
like,
moms and shit arguing about that shit. You know what I mean? People in
right,
the music shit, they're so focused on the music and worried about none of that shit. I hope,
that
you know what I
makes
mean?
sense. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
So
Artist to artist, of course, they're not going to hate, but yeah.
yeah. You never know though, right? Like I'm sure that like there
I
is
just wonder,
there's always been Canada jokes, bro. I've been out in the
yeah,
States for 20
but I
years,
wonder
like
if those Canada jokes are
always
real
been Canada.
popular right now across the
For
average hip
sure,
hop
for sure.
fan.
We look
Yeah,
we look silly. We look silly on a world stage.
right.
Liberals are weird, man.
I don't know. It's election time. You
Yeah,
gonna
vote
vote in?
conservative, man. I'm voting
Gonna vote in
conservative
conservative?
personally. Yeah, I'm voting
Oh man,
conservative, bro.
you're not worried he's backed by the same guys as Trump and shit?
They
I don't
all
know,
are,
bro.
man. It's all, bro. At
They
the end of
might
the
just
day,
shake hands and be like, "All right, surprise,
I
we're
just
all
don't. I don't
Russia
like
now."
Mike.
If
I
we
don't
get
like
that
Mark
guy,
Carney,
but
man. I don't like his face, bro. I'm one of those people like somebody's face bothers me, bro. I don't like his face. I didn't like Justin either for that reason. Like, and then
I
he proved to be a weirdo. Like,
I will say that I never thought a day would come when I would be cheering for like a world banker to fucking lead the country next. It's Trump has shifted
yeah,
the Overton window of where people are allowed
yeah.
to vote so far to the fucking right that the furthest left we can go now and have any shot in hell of winning is yeah, some fucking banker guy. But
It's
I don't know. Here we
the
are.
world is in the craziest spot ever, and I mean, we're always like 20 seconds away from someone dropping a fucking bomb on somebody's head, right? So it's
That's
always like it's a very detrimental time, and it's better for me. Like personally, I just drown myself in work, so I don't got to think about crazy shit that's going on, you know?
you know, Niagara, you might be one of the only places that I talk to people in that's closer to the border than I am here in Lethbridge. Like it's
Yeah.
45 minutes to the border outside of
Yeah, I've been
Lethbridge
to
or whatever.
Lethbridge before. Yeah, I've been out
We're
there.
way far south. So
Yeah.
you know, when he starts talking about taking over Canada or whatever, I start thinking about like, oh fuck, they're gonna Ukraine us. Like uh, I'll be the first one in the drone strikes when they come for our fucking oil, man.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, man. Like
Yeah.
we can't really go to war with them. So I hope that we just come to terms, you know?
Yeah, here's hoping, dude. Here's hoping.
Yeah. I
Or
mean,
like we said earlier, I hope some good comes out of it and something beautiful rises from the ashes.
Yeah, unless it's like that 51st state shit. I don't know, man. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm not down for that at all, man.
It's
But
gonna be rugged.
yeah, but I'll be 100% honest, and this isn't something I've said publicly to anyone yet, but
Huh.
I don't
I'm
know if
getting the
I want to
scoop.
fight over fucking. I don't know if I'm ready to die over not being America. You know what I mean?
I'm not ready to die over not being American. God bless America and the
If they start
51st.
flying fucking drone
Dog,
strikes over top of
they
Lethbridge,
won't do
I'm
that. They
waving an
won't do
American
that.
flag, bro. That's,
Yeah, they
I
won't
mean,
do that. It's not gonna
until
go to
then,
that.
I'm sitting back and saying I play 100% Canadian hip hop. Boycott America. Fuck that
I
shit.
ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. We need people like you, man. At the end of the day, there's not enough people playing 100% Canadian CanCon. You know what I mean? So
Right. Well, and everybody wants to be online right now talking about like, oh, support local. Fucking, go out and support the local. Make sure when you grocery shop you're buying
shop in
Canadian
Canada,
goods or
and it should
whatever.
all
I'm like,
cost more.
do
What the
that with your
fuck?
artists too, right? Do that with your
Yeah,
artists. You
yeah,
make sure you're supporting some local artists too, because
yeah. I agree. I agree.
if the only media we're taking in is from America, we're going to start thinking like Americans. That's just how that works, I think. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. But like you said, I think Canada does have a really distinct and really flourishing underground hip hop scene right now. It's just
Absolutely,
a
man.
matter of getting it in
Absolutely.
front of more people's face, man. Yeah.
And it will. It
Um,
will. It will. It will for sure. You
yeah,
already
hell yeah,
know.
bro.
Yeah.
So I always get people to give shout outs. You got some artists people should be up on?
Ooh, there's so many shit.
Right.
AO Biggs just dropped his album. I'm on that. Check for Bandolero, KNG Bandolero.
Ayo Big's
Um,
album, that album will scare. Don't play that around your wife.
yo,
You're
that
gonna
that
scare
album
all
is
the
so
ladies away
haunted. Yeah, that
with
shit
that
is so
one.
hot. AO Biggs is like the hardest white rapper I ever met in my life. I don't think there's another harder white rapper. Like he sounds like Billy Dance
Huge. Just
on
every
fucking
track.
steroids. Yeah, he's pissed, bro. And you know what? Solid dude, like real loyal, good guy, man. That's a good friend of mine. But he's a
Nice.
fucking monster, bro. He's a
Did I
monster.
see him in the Wave Grease video? Did
Yeah,
he
he's in
pop
there.
out from Wave
Yeah.
Grease? Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Yeah. Looking scary and shit.
Right. It's the only
Shout
way you
out my
can do it,
man
I think,
Biggs.
man.
Shout out my man Biggs.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
man. I like the
Tona,
album, but
Tona for sure. Like Tona's always consistent. He's like one of those guys that he keeps up with fucking anyone. You know what I mean? So got to check
it's a
for
legend
Tona.
right there, man. I
Super
really
legend.
like that he did an album with you too, because
Yeah,
I don't know, he could kind of drift away and be like in the Shad lane and do some
he could.
like
He could.
real conscious tip stuff
But the
if
thing
he,
about him is like, yo, he's like a barman. So the way I rap, it makes him want to rap differently because he wants to rap kind of like the same ballpark of what I'm doing. He doesn't go like if
yeah,
you hear Tone on a record with me, it usually won't be on like his like conscious building tip. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he'll
But I
save that
loved it,
shit
man.
for other
I
shit. Yeah, yeah, but
that's what I loved, is that he met you at that level, right? Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
was you
yeah.
guys meeting in the middle
It's
to
friendly
make a
competition
project
with me and
together or
him all the
whatever.
time.
And
Like every time we do a drop, I'm like, fuck you. He's like, fuck you, you know, because it's friendly competition. Like
yeah,
trying to stay
yeah,
on top of each other. Pause, you know.
of
Thanks.
course.
Had to on that one. Had to on that one.
Yeah, that was flagrant.
That was a good one.
Um,
Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
okay, so yeah, you shouted people out. What the fuck else do I have people do? Where can people follow you online? Where are you most active online?
Sayzee.bandcamp.com. That's gonna be the hub. That's got all my albums, it's got all the freestyles. YouTube, Sayzee YFWN, all my videos. On Instagram, Sayzee double O triple O. Sayzee triple O, I think.
Did
On
you just
Instagram.
change that? I did a double take
Yeah,
the
it's
other day when.
Sayzee underscore triple O.
Okay,
So that or is 000. Yeah, that's me. So follow me on Instagram. Shout me out. I shout back. I
it's
talk to
not a new
people and shit
account.
on
It's
there.
just a name change on the
Just
same
change the
account.
name. Yeah, just change the
Okay,
name.
yeah,
Yeah, because
okay,
YFWN branding was kind of like over, right? So
fair enough. Yeah, I was just gonna ask like if because there's often a good story of how people get their accounts banned or whatever. I know a few people that it's
yo, I was
happened to recently.
blackballed. I was blackballed. So my Instagram, nobody could do collaborative posts. So I did the song with Cardinal, and he
Yeah,
tried to give me a collab post. I couldn't collab it, which was a huge L because he's got a lot of followers. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been like brought attention to my thing, so it couldn't do it. And then Keep Six Solid just posted, "Is Sayzee the best white rapper?" or whatever on his account, right? With the wave
that's some
grease
keep
clip.
six solid shit
Yeah,
to
yeah. Of
post.
course,
Yeah,
you're gonna bring race into it. Yeah, shut up, my man. You know what I mean? But show him out. But he posted that and he couldn't collaborate post me either. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I emailed Instagram and I'm like, yo, like nobody can collab. So they fixed it. So now I can collab post. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't go live either. Now I can go live. So
Do you
my
got the blue
Instagram's back
check
on.
mark on Instagram? How the
No,
fuck did
I
you?
don't pay for that shit. No, I don't pay for that shit.
I didn't think we get tech support unless you pay for that shit.
I don't know.
Isn't
I
that how
just
that
they
works?
fixed
Oh,
it. They
okay.
fixed it the next day. So I mean, like,
Nice.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I guess if you're a good enough rapper, they fucking answer emails then or whatever. All right, bro. This has been fun. Thanks for doing this
Yo,
on
of
short
course,
notice
brother.
once again.
Yo, no worries.
Hell yeah. Peace, man.
Okay, peace.
All right, everybody. That was a lot of fun. A little more improvised than some weeks are. I, planned out a few questions through the course of my afternoon today, and I was listening to the newest album just before this stream actually started. So yeah, make sure you check out when that drops. Two-Way Mirror with Sayzee and Bandolero collabing for an entire album. As well, go check out Sayzee's older projects. He's got a ton of them. Like he said, sayzee.bandcamp.com is where you can find all those. If you buy stuff on Bandcamp, it gets more money to the artist than if you buy it anywhere else. So I would recommend you do that. As you can see on this schedule beside me here, Half Cut pulled the old April Fool's trick. He's sick. I hope him and his kid are feeling better. He said the sickness had hit the house. So, I hope they're doing all right. We'll try to get him on one day. This is the second time this year that we've had to reschedule. So it'll happen. But April 8th next week, I talked to Danny-O. I'm looking forward to that. He had a dope album last year called Vigilante. April 15th. Damn, I nailed it in this interview talking to Sayzee here. I guessed it was the 15th, and I was right. I've written this enough times on lists that I now know it. J.O. on the 22nd. Run and Gun. Looking forward to catching up with him. Ripple on the 27th. That's a special Sunday edition of Fly in Formation that's actually scheduled for a Sunday. I did one on Sunday a few weeks back, but it was because we couldn't do it on the Tuesday. I had to bump it. But this is actually just scheduled in for a Sunday to talk to Kripal because he's going off on tour at the start of May. I think May 1st he said he's on tour. So we couldn't wait. And then April 29th, Vancouver-based MC Hardbody Dreams. Looking forward to meeting him and chopping it up a little bit. I've been playing his music lately on Atzik. If you didn't know, After the Smoke is Clear is the radio show / mix show. I mean, it is on the radio, but it's also on the internet. So mixcloud.com/Doobyis is where you can find that. Doobyis.com is the hub. It's written on the screen right there beside me. Doobyis if you're just listening on audio, I guess. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Keep coming back for these things. Hit follow, hit like, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Catch you next time.